All right. Hi, guys. Well, today we are starting our last project in oil pastel. We are going to do fish. You're welcome to do any fish you want, but koi fish are a lot of fun and they're pretty easy to do. So maybe find a nice koi fish, picture. Really, what you're looking for is just the body shape. Koi fish have the most random, beautiful patterns, so you can pretty much do whatever you want with your fish. But what we're looking for this week is a fish in water. So let's get started. I have my colors picked out. I really like this orange fish, so I'm going to do an orange fish. This is my reference photo. I'm just going to do this guy right here. I'm not going to do the second one. You only need to do one fish, so just because I did two in my other drawing doesn't mean you just need one fish. One fish in water. So that's my reference photo. I am going to have a paper towel on hand. I picked up my colors. Not too much to choose from. I'm going to do my orange and my white. My fish is pretty much orange and white. I need my gray just to do some shadowing and stuff like that. So I've got two grays. I've got my one light gray for my outline so I can rough in my picture. And then I need white. I'm also going to use, so this Pentel white isn't that great. So I pulled out a different white. And then I've got two colors for water. I don't know if you can see here, I used a light blue and then I swirled in some dark blue just to give it all that watery texture. And then we're going to do something with the white. We're going to do these little squiggly lines over, and that just makes it look like the water's moving. So that's kind of the technique we're kind of going for today, is to get that movement of the water. So the fish are kind of the bonus. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lightest gray. Oh, and you need your blending stump or whatever tool you're using to blend. For this, your finger might be a little bit too big. You're welcome to try, but it might be too big. So, all right, I am going to rough in my fish. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of glary in here. All right, so he's got kind of a nose down here. It might not be. Now, the nice thing with oil pastel is if you make a mistake, you can cover over it with other oil pastels. Koi fish are so much fun. Now, this tail, this is a case of draw what you see, not what you think you see. Because it doesn't make much sense. Okay, I'm going to kind of rough in my fins. And I'm going to do a rough edge. You could tape it off if you want. And we're going to try this in our sketchbook. This is a little bit different. The fish I did last time I did on pastel paper. We've used pastel paper the last 2 weeks, but I think we're going to give it a little shot in our sketchbook. So you might need to, actually I think I might change the orientation of this. I'm going to do my fish this way. So since oil pastel paper is so forgiving, or since oil pastels are so forgiving, I'm going to go right over that. I still made it too big. That's all right. It's a beautiful fish, so he's kind of got angel wings. All right, so I'm just going to disregard that. It's kind of got a fat little body and then kind of a torpedo head. I have koi fish, and they are so beautiful to watch swim. And then I'm going to block in my color. So I've got like this big orange spot there. I got an orange spot there. And you can even kind of just make stuff up if you want more color. Yep, and I'm going to do a rough edge. So this is going to get obviously to the edge of my paper. But I'm going to kind of stick right around the fish. I'm just going to kind of do an oval perimeter around my fish, kind of like I did with these. I didn't go all the way to the edge. I just kind of did that oval perimeter. All right, so I'm going to start with my white because I want to keep that fairly clean. So make sure you wipe off your white oil pastel. And I'm going to start getting some color in here. Go right up to that, to your outline. So this is going to be my first lay down, my first layer. Now I'm not going to go in where I want the orange, so I'm kind of going around that. Even though it's kind of hard to see on mine because I drew two fish. That's all right. I'm going to see how this works in this book. I did a flower before and it worked okay. I mean, obviously it wasn't going to be as good as the pastel paper, but you're not always going to have, you know, what exactly you need. So we'll see if we can adapt and do something a little bit differently. And then he's got a little, his little nose is white. He's got a white eye in there somewhere. All right, I'm going to blend this out a little bit just to soften it. You could do this with your finger. You could do it with your blending stump. Make sure you wipe off any of the excess color. Like I just got pink all over that. Way to go. I will add another layer probably because I want it nice and creamy. We want creamy colors. Oh shoot, I keep getting that pink in there. We also want dimension, so don't forget about adding that part at the end. All right. Let's see, my fins. Oh, come on. Turn back on. All right. I got it back. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Losing my mind here. Okay. So I got to kind of put in my little bit of color here. You can see the fins are bluer. Now if I didn't want this to be an orange koi fish, if I wanted it to be yellow, I could just change those to yellow. No big deal. But I have lots of orange koi fish and I like orange koi fish. So I'm going to add my orange in here. And their colors are really just this bright. They're just so pretty. Go right up to that edge. All right, so I'm going to put this on double speed so you can just kind of watch me fill it in, and then when we get back to the water, I'll be back. Okay, so I got the general idea of the fish colored in. What I will tell you with this paper is it's really hard to put more on. Trying to layer up this white, so you might have to, it might just be a one layer type thing. So get a good base of white down. Try and get it as creamy as you can to begin with, because it really doesn't want to take a whole lot more color. So that would be my advice for this paper. Really get that first layer creamy if you can. All right, so I'm going to move on to the water. I'm going to clean off my my tool here. I actually pulled out this also. I think this one actually works the best. But I'm kind of a creature of habit, so I keep pulling out the rubber one. All right, so here's the technique we want with the water. So what we're going to do is we are going to scumble. We're going to do our controlled scribbling. Okay, you're in control of your hand is not in control of you. So we're going to scumble right up to the edge. And we're going to kind of do this in sections because it does tend to dry a little bit, and so it makes it hard to work. So I'm going to get right up to the edge of my fish as close as I can. I don't have to go right there, but get close. So I started with my lighter one, and I'm going to come in with my darker. And the goal we're going for is we're not trying to blend this color out. We're just trying to soften it a little bit. Water really is kind of chaotic looking, so we don't want, you know, the chaos to disappear entirely. We just want it softened. Okay, and we don't want any harsh lines. So then what we're going to do after we get, you know, a little bit of watercolor down. Actually, I could even use a little bit of a... I think you guys have something similar to this color. This kind of oceany green. I don't know if it'll go in or not. You could swirl some of that in there too. And then we're going to take our white and we're just going to kind of put some motion. We're not going to blend that in. So we're going to blend the underlayer, and then the white is just kind of going to sit on top to look like water, look like the reflection. So Here we go again. We're going to kind of get our base layer down right up to the edge of our fish. Now, it's really important that we get to that edge. I don't want white space in between there, so that's kind of where this tool can come in handy. You can really soften that edge. Even this tool will do it. Just push that color right to the edge and soften that. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with my darker one, and I'm going to swirl all over. I think I got a little carried away in that first section, but that's all right. And then I'm going to kind of smudge it and, you know, kind of diffuse those hard edges, because water really doesn't have any. I might swirl some of this green in there. Blend that a little. And then get my water ripples in there. All right, can you see that? Starting to take shape, starting to look like water. And I'm just gonna go all the way around my fish like this. Now notice I haven't put eyes in yet, because what goes last? Black. Black last. So, and as of yet, I have not seen a fully black koi fish, so there should not be a fully black koi fish. Some of my koi fish have black in them, but none of them are fully black. So make sure your fish have color. Now look, I went a little bit in there. I can kind of scrape that out a little bit. Otherwise I'll just soften that in. And sometimes you get little pills of color, and you just got to be careful. Either pick them off carefully, or just kind of smush them in with your tool. And that's it. We just keep working around the paper. You can tape your edge if you'd prefer. I really don't want you to go all the way to the edge, because it's just such a mess. So this really keeps things a little bit neater. As you can see, there was some oil pastel on my desk surface, so that's why there's pastel all over my paper already. Okay, you notice there's no like super harsh corners. We don't want anything. You can do crazy eights, you can do just squiggles, just that controlled scribble. Right up to the edge. Soften that out. This is what we'll be doing in class. We'll be practicing this. A little bit of water. And over time, these will kind of blend a little bit. Oil pastel tends to soften a little bit over time. All right, I'm going to put you on fast forward and finish this up. All right, I am back. I'm just putting in some finishing touches on the water. You can kind of soften the water if you really want to, but I kind of like it. All those harsh lines. I'm just barely skimming over the top of that. All right, so I'm gonna add a few more things with the fish. Yeah, I don't know if I can get some of these fin lines in here. Oh, maybe I can. I might just leave those raw. I might shade a little bit to give my fish a little dimension. Okay, just like we would on anything that's round. So the sides would be a little darker because they're, you know, further away from things get darker as it curves. All right. And it's doing okay. I mean, it's holding a little bit more color. Maybe it just needed to dry a little bit. So yeah, play around with it. I'm going to add in my eyes. There's kind of a ridge right here. Koi fish have funny little shapes. Oh, I need a black. I don't know how good this black is, but we're just gonna add in, I don't even know where the eyes were. Just gonna add in some eyes right there. That looks about the right spot. And take my tool and soften that and kind of round it a little bit. And that's it. There's your koi fish, guys. So that is your project for the week. A fish in water. I hope you guys have a great time. I hope it's lots of fun for you, and I will see you next week.